Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Slab for Friday, December 16th, 2022. I'm Nate, and I'm here with your Sports Card Rundown. If you like this video, please click the like and the subscribe button. Helps us get this video out to more people like yourselves. All right, first up is our trender of the day. And yesterday we did the worst dropper of the year. Well, today we are going to do the highest riser of the year. And no, shockingly, it's not Aaron Judge. I know I would expect Aaron Judge to be there. He was actually at the top of the card ladder list, but there was one purchase that was for $6,000. That was $3,000 more than the last sale. I just didn't buy it, so I didn't include it. There was also Max Verstappen. That was one of the highest risers, but the last two sales were $375 and $3,000 some dollars, like 6 months apart. Only two sales. I didn't buy that either. So what we settled on was Daniel Jones, Optic Downtown. And you can see it here. The PSA 9 was $70 back last December, which is a very reasonable price considering Daniel Jones was kind of a meh quarterback that hadn't done anything to lead his team anywhere. And nobody was really excited about him, and it was a case hit. So $70 still expensive, quote unquote, but not multiple hundreds, not multiple thousands. Well, then you get into this year. Brian Daboll gets hired by the Giants, and the Giants are actually a decent team. Are they good? I don't know if I'm willing to say they're good. They're in playoff position right now, but they are 7-5-1, and who knows what they might end the season at. They were much better at one point. I believe they started maybe 6-1, 7-1, 5-1, something like that, and now they're 7-5-1. So it hasn't been great sledding lately. But Daniel Jones still has led his team to a 7-5-1 record. They're still in playoff position, and he's still been just good enough to not be the issue. And what I mean by that is his stats have been fine. On the year, he's thrown for 2,500 yards. He's thrown 12 touchdowns. He's only thrown 4 interceptions. And he has a career high, not great, but a career high 56.4 quarterback rating, or QBR. Are they great stats? No, they're nothing to write home about, but they're also not stats that you're like, this guy has been an absolute detriment to his team. So therefore, he's just kind of like a meh, but leading his team to victories quarterback. You know, nothing wrong with that. Maybe not going to win you a Super Bowl, but also probably not going to lead you with Brian Daboll as your coach to like a 1-15 record, you know? And so his card prices have been on the move. And so you can look here at this. It was $70 last December. It was $549 as of November 22nd. Now, this card was a one bid auction win, but the one bidder had over 1,000 reviews on eBay. So I consider that to be like, I don't think 1,000 review bidder would bid and not pay. So therefore, Daniel Jones Kaboom PSA 9, or not Kaboom, Optic Downtown PSA 9 is our top trender of the year, having moved 684% in that time period. Pretty impressive. And while his season hasn't been overly impressive, it also hasn't been terrible. And there you have movement, because I think a lot of people were expecting it to be terrible. Real quick, want to give a shout out, a community shout out to Mickey8 on YouTube. He commented the other day, we talked about Joel Embiid, and he commented underneath it and said this, and I quote, "I'm from Philly. I tell you what dudes think here, not all, but some. Embiid had a late start to his career. He's really injury prone. He falls as much as Iverson. A lot of Sixers fans think he can score, but he's not a winner. He doesn't spread the ball around like Jokic, and he's a little bit of a whiner. He's supposed to be the leader, star of the team, but blames everyone when it doesn't go right. I think he's one of the most talented ball players in the league, but something isn't jiving with him and the Sixers. One game he didn't score in a half, I think is what he means. How does that happen when you're 7 feet tall?" And this is kind of a little bit of insight, you know, from the outside looking in. You're not in the local media. I can tell you what people in Milwaukee think about a certain player. I could probably tell you what people think about people in, Washington, now that I live there. But I can't tell you what local fan bases think about Joel Embiid. So when I'm looking at Joel Embiid, I say, hey, look at these stats. Look at this. This is awesome. Yada, yada, yada. Well, But clearly, there's some Philly fans that say, yeah, the stats are great, but we don't think we have a winner on our hands. So the same way I think about Karl-Anthony Towns. Stats are great, but sometimes you have to win. If the stats are great, you have to lead your team to the playoffs. Now, Joel Embiid does that. Karl-Anthony Towns does not, so they're not in the same ballpark. Yet, if you don't think your guy is going to get you over the top and win you a championship, win an MVP, I can see where you're coming from, Mikey or Mickey. So I get that, and I appreciate you reaching out and giving us your feedback on the Joel Embiid situation, because it's always interesting hearing from other people. So if I cover something in the Daily Slab and you say, hey, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that, and this is why, and I'm local to the area and I can give you a little insight, I would love to hear the insight. And who knows, you might even get shouted out on the Daily Slab. All right, and lastly, we've got our PWCC Flip Quest happening at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:45 p.m. Pacific this Sunday. And if there was a card I'm interested in, it is these two cards. Now, I don't see these very often. I see logo men all the time for basketball. I see NFL Shield patches for football all the time. But the amount of times I see the baseball emblem logo man for baseball on a card is very few and far between. And a lot of that is because I am a Bowman guy, a Topps Chrome guy, and they don't have that in these. But we've got two here that are pretty cool, both from Mike Trout, both ending this week. You've got the 2017 Topps Diamond Icons, MLB Logo Man patch 101 BGS 95, and the 2020 Topps Diamond Icons Logo Man 101 BGS 9. Personally, I like the 2017 better. I think it just showcases the logo man. And I'm not alone because the price, $1,600 difference there. I know it's BGS 9.5 compared to a BGS 9, but still, huge difference there. And I don't know. I just think they're really, really cool. It's one of those things where you kind of see that in the NBA and you're like, wow, I'd love to have that. And here we go. We've got two of the best player of my generation, Mike Trout. So if you're interested in that, check out the PWCC auction this Sunday starting at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you there. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching today's Daily Slab, and I will talk to you guys over the weekend on Monday for the next Daily Slab. See you, everyone.